Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Vicki Boutin design team, and I want to show you a new layout that started as an experiment. It looks better in person than it does on the screen actually, but I love it. And it's super simple, and we're going to work some resist working with yeso. So I'm starting it with a prime page. I added a thin layer of yeso with a brayer to the page. And now I'm going to use my T-ruler to just mark the center of the page. And I'm doing this because my idea was to create a circle of flowers with a cutout in the middle. So I'm using my circle cutting tool, and this one is I have it for a long time. I can't remember where it's from. But I drew a 6-inch circle in the middle. And what I'm going to do is now add some yeso. I'm going to use the flower stencil, and I'm going to use the yeso as a modeling piece. So my idea is to create, think of a crown of flowers around the circumference of the circle. And you're going to see me that I'm going to play with the stencil a little bit because I'm trying at my best not to smoosh the previous stencil flowers. Some of them are gonna get not destroyed, but they're gonna lose a little bit of definition, and I'm okay with that. But my idea was to try to create the flowers and to have at least a half flower to a flower around the circumference of the entire circle. And for that, I meant that I had to sacrifice a little bit of some of the edges. This was the best way that I could think about it. Not that I think about it, maybe I should just draw a circle on the stencil. It would have helped me, but you know what? It works at the end. I was okay if some of the modeling piece went inside the circle. I just want to make sure that, like I said, there's a curvature all around the circumference. And that's about it. I put it aside to dry. It took a little bit longer to dry than regular prime page because it's a thicker application of yeso. But try it. Actually, it's great. And we're going to work some resist on it. So I'm going to make sure that it's completely dry. And you're going to see me that I'm opening a second bottle of yeso. Thank God for one of my suppliers. It came through with the yeso. So now what I'm going to do right now, this is what I start experimenting, is I wanted to add color. I don't have a picture in mind yet. I'm just going to start playing. And my idea was to have, first idea was to have a stencil look and around the flowers. But when I started working it, I did not like it. I thought that it would work better with a watercolor look. So you're going to see me that I added water to the mat where I scribbled the crayon. And I'm actually using the stencil brush to get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I'm liking it better. So I'm going to bring up, in this case, I brought a piece of packaging. This is like the kissing technique. But the only thing that I did not like about it is that I had to use my finger to get the watercolor inside the impression in the grooves of the flowers. Not the easiest thing, and I wanted to create curvature because, like I said, I want to try to work some resist with it. So my best idea, or I settled to just using my paintbrush to add the watercolor. And you're gonna see that I'm gonna create some watercolor on my crafting mat, and all I'm doing is scribbling the crayon in that case, and adding water, and then just bringing it onto the page. And that's the beauty of working with a prime foundation paper, is that it actually lets you pull the watercolor on the page, and actually works really good on this particular layer because it actually allows the color to go inside the grooves of the flowers, which is where you want the watercolor to sit. And as you're gonna see actually in a bit, I'm gonna, like I said, my idea was to add one single color, but then at the end it started being rainbows and butterflies, and that's actually, I like the way it looks. And as you're gonna see, actually, I decided to scribble the crayon right onto the mat, onto the layout, and it actually used my water brush to fuse it together. And I like it because these are created some patches or some places where the crayon stayed in the groove of the flower, like, you know, of the impression, and it make the impression more prominent. And like I said, the only thing that I think if I had to redo it would be that in between the application of the colors, you don't see it on the video because it's a time lapse, but I left a little bit of time to dry up. My idea was I did not want to have them model and create one single like brown color, but I think I should not have let it dry so much in between because the colors don't fuse nicely as watercolors would. So that's the only thing that I think if I had to redo it, and you know, it will look more cohesive instead of looking like little patches of color. That's the only thing. But like I said, you're gonna see me that I actually like this color pink that I created, and I mixed the maroon reddish tone in the warm tone in the warm collection set, with the fuchsia, and it gave me this really nice tone of pink, kind of fuchsia violet, very, very pretty. And all I'm seeing is I did not want to add green because I already had some patches of green with the yellow and the blue mix. So I'm opting to bring the teal color. And it actually great color. It gave me like this turquoisey look on the page. And all I'm doing, like I said, is just scribbling the crayon right onto the mat. Not the mat, sorry, again, the layout. Using my water brush just to create that watery look to it. And I'm loving it. And then again, as Nathalie fashion, you're going to see me that I'm going to add some splatters. Now, once that dried a little bit, I went ahead with a baby wipe and started buffing all the yeso impression. I wanted the flowers to actually pop. And you're going to see that you're going to see the definition of the flowers once I'm cleaning up the watercolor with the baby wipe. Super simple. What I did do, I went and actually did put some effort to make sure that the yeso showed. So along the way, I actually took some out of the watercolor that were at the bottom of the impression. So you're gonna see me that I come in with the with the stencil brush again and just add a little bit more color to certain areas. And this, I think, is what also, not that it helped define the patches of colors, didn't help me give that, united color of a watercolor look instead of creating these little patches. But I needed to do that to add more color to the background. Again, once I was happy with using my stencil brush, and again, you know how to use it, you just scribble the crayon onto the mat, pick up the color with your stencil brush, and then in a circular motion, add it to the page. Once that was done, I went again with a baby wipe and started like cleaning or buffing the impression that I had created with the yeso and the stencil. Now, the only thing with the crayon is that it doesn't let you, when you use your stencil brush, it actually, because you're creating also some aberration as you creating the circles on the page, actually the crayon tends to stick more to the yeso or the surface. So you're not gonna get that much out when you buff with your baby wipe. So just keep that in mind. Now what I'm doing right now is I just wanted to bring another layer of mixed media and add a little bit more interest to the watercolor. So I'm using the circle stamp and the color wheel just to add some of like the sunburst and some of the polka dot circles around the crown of flowers, you can say. And you're gonna see that I'm not stamping the entire circle. I'm choosing just to stamp the outside in a way that's gonna help me complete some of the flowers that are incomplete when I added the yeso. So that was my idea, to have like sort of like complete the flower. Because some of the flowers, when I added the yeso at the beginning, because I had to play around with it, are not complete. And that's about it. That's my background. Now I'm using the dot that I created with the T-ruler just to guide me, to help me cut the circle of this layout. And you're gonna see that I had to go a few times around because it's thick paper, and with the yeso it became a little bit thicker. But that's about it. That was my idea, and I'm saving that circle for another project. Now this picture is one of my favorite pictures that I have ever taken, and this is a picture of my kids, the littles, my niece and nephew, with my mom. Actually, it was Mother's Day 2 years ago, and I love it. We went for a walk, and I said, stop, and that picture just happened, and we all have it, we all love it, and it's the first time that I'm scrapping that picture. So as you can see, all I'm gonna do is frame the picture with the circle. So all I did is glue the picture to a piece of cardstock, and then I'm using fun foam just to create a shadow between the picture and the layout in a way. Now I came to decorate it. I did not want to add more color. Sorry, I think there was plenty of color already in the background, but I think it needed to bring shine of black and white. The black and white in the picture, if I brought more black and white, then it would have taken away from the picture. So my choice was to bring shine. So I'm choosing to bring flowers, just to go with the idea of the flowers that I have in the background. So I'm going to use the watercolor stickers and gold glaze. And my idea was to add a small wash or a faint wash of the glaze to the entire flower. Then I'm going to bring some of the colors that I use, the art crayons that I use, to color the center of the flowers, and then add a thicker consistency of glaze just to form the shading of each of the flowers. And I did this to a few flowers, and also to one of the big butterflies that come in the watercolor stickers. And now all you're gonna see is that I'm gonna start playing with some foam adhesive and some pop dots, just to create a little bit more dimension when I'm adding the flowers. And I'm gonna create actually quite a big cluster at the bottom corner of the layout. There's a lot of space. They're perfect for the, to add the clusters. And all I'm gonna do is, like I said, all the flowers got color with the gold, and only the centers have a little bit of color based on what I used on the layout. And I'm gonna bring in some of the ephemera. I think it's the pack that has the icons, has these big leaves in the black and white. It's actually gonna complete my cluster, and you're gonna see that I'm actually also gonna bring some of the cardstock stickers just to complete, add some sentiments around it. But that's about it. I love the way this looks. This tames down or tones down a lot of the color that is happening on the layout, and that's about it for that cluster. Now, my title, I had a hard time with the title, so I played with a few things outside of the camera, and I decided to stay with Shine Happy. One, because they were glitter and actually makes sense, and I like the fact that it actually just, you know, stretches around the top circumference of the layout, and it actually brings the emphasis to the picture. It actually frames the picture really nice. Now you're gonna see that here's where I add the butterfly that I actually color with the glaze to, and I'm actually adding some foam adhesive to the sides of the wings, sorry, so they lift and they give the illusion of flying. And right now I'm adding some of the watercolor stickers and some of the cardstock stickers to the cluster, just to add some more sentiments and to bring some of the black, and like I said, to tone down of the color. Now, like I said, this layer was rainbows and butterflies, so I'm bringing butterflies. I'm using the Vicky's the first set of stamps from this release, and it was the flower with the butterflies. So I'm using some black archival ink and just stamping some butterflies around the entire circumference of the layout. And then I had some leftover glaze, so I'm just gonna water it down and start adding some splatters around the picture. And you're gonna see, you know me, I love splatters, so I'm adding splatters around the page. I think it needs to tone it down. Now, once I was done with that, I'm bringing Vicky's rotary stamp, and I'm just adding some sentiments to the page and a line of journal. And that's pretty much it. I love the way this turned out. Like I said, this layout, I love it. It looks better in person than it does on the video for some reason. It looks better on the picture too. Try it. If you have any questions on how this came together, super simple layout, by the way, let me know. Don't hesitate to contact me. Check out Vicky's stuff. It's amazing. It works in so many things. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you back next week when I'll be back to the junk journal. So take care, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.